Well, hey, I mean, what a great weekend for us here in Boise, and just what a great performance by my guys. We beat a heck of a basketball team in Ohio State that's got a ton of fight and is so well coached, and the run they made at us in that second half was, had us back on our heels. But just like these guys have done all year, they responded, and were able to figure out a way to get some stops down the stretch, the real stretch of that game, and then we had some guys step up and make some big shots on the offensive end. But man, Ohio State's good, and just so impressed with how much they've improved since the PK 80. So we couldn't be happier. There aren't many things better in life than winning these games in the NCAA tournament in March. I'm telling you, they are something special.
Zach, I know yesterday was a special moment for you hitting that three, but I mean, you had a season high 28 points, double-double. How does this game compare to yesterday? Do you like this one a little bit better, or what were your thoughts on just that kind of performance here today for your team, man?
I like this one a lot. Just getting 12 rebounds was a big thing for me.
How about 12 rebounds? To hang out our program once in a while. He goes a month sometimes.
That was big for me, you know what I mean? Like I said, I always have confidence on the offensive end, but, helping those guys on the boards was big. We knew going into the game that Ohio State was a great rebounding team, so, stepping in and helping the bigs, getting to the rebounds was big for me.
Josh, you had, it seemed like the entire stadium was cheering for you guys. It almost seemed like a home game for you guys. How does it feel to have your fans travel so well, and for any neutral fans, they seem to be cheering for you guys?
Hey, I mean, as we've all said before, we got the best fans in the country, and for them to do that for us, I mean, especially when that run hit, we heard it, they stuck with us, and we fed off the crowd. But we stuck together, and I think the crowd was a big reason.
I'll direct this question at Josh. Coach did a handstand in the locker room to celebrate. Is that a regular occurrence in the NCAA tournament or all games?
Hey, I don't know. Just when he does it, we're all happy, and we want him to do it again, so we can keep winning.
Did he do it last year?
Yeah, he did it a couple times last year, but when Coach pulls out the handstand, it's a good performance team-wise, and like I said, we need to see it at least 4 more times.
Zach, I know you redshirted last year, kind of missed on that championship run. How much are you kind of enjoying this little run now, these 2 games for yourself? How much are you enjoying being a part of March Madness this year?
Sitting out last year was big, behind some great guards like, Perk, Nigel, and Jordan, learning a lot from those guys, but actually being in the moment, being able to be out there is huge, being a competitor, and also being surrounded by a lot of guys that want to compete as well, so it's great.
Zach, I have to know about the nickname Snacks. Where did it come from? And was it something when you were little and you told your teammates, or how did these guys find out about that too then?
It's kind of funny because growing up, all I wanted was candy, chocolate and stuff like that. So everybody called me Snacks. And then in my recruiting visits and stuff like that, my dad always called me Snacks. So the coaches just took on with it, and everybody around campus and the country call me Snacks now.
For Jonathan, lots of foul trouble for the bigs there. To get through it, it looked like Rui really played a big role to get you guys through that.
Yeah, I mean, our bench been doing an awesome job all year. Corey came off the bench and did a lot of things well for us, and also Louis did too. So, I mean, I don't know where we'd be without Louis and Corey, so come off the bench for us.
Josh, I mean, you guys are down, 67-62. The game seemed to be maybe swinging a little bit, but Zach hits that big corner 3. Just how big was that kind of looking back? Because that seemed to kind of really get you guys going on that run there.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge 3. I mean, this guy's been making tough shots for us, day in and day out. You seen the big one yesterday, but I've been seeing it, the whole season. So, I mean, like I said, he hit that corner 3, and that was the spark plug we needed for us to hit that run. And I'm glad he took it, and I'm glad he takes it more in the future.
All right, we'll go ahead and say thank you to the student athletes and dismiss them from the stage. And once they've left, we'll turn questions over to Coach Few. Congratulations. Questions for Coach.
Coach, Zach wasn't, he redshirted last year. How happy are you to have this guy on your team for what he's done through these first 2 games for you?
It's not just because of that. It's because of his whole package. He's got a persona that we really need in our program right now, quite frankly. We have an overabundance of introverts and that's one thing he's not. And so I call him our spiritual leader. He gets us going every practice, even those ones where they don't want to be at. And he's just a fiery guy with some swag from Chicago, and we need that. And then you add into the fact that he's right there with probably one of the most clutch players I've ever coached, and I've been lucky enough, going back to Dan Dickow, making shots like that, or Adam Morrison. He's got an amazing ability to, the shot before the three missed by 8 feet. I don't know if you remember that one. Okay, and to come back and swish the next one. There aren't many. That's like me shanking 2 into the water hole and then hitting a hole in 1 or something. So, which doesn't happen. He's got an impressive fortitude about him, and there's so many things to like that we're very blessed to have him.
It seemed that you were able to sway a lot of neutral fans to cheer for your team. What is it about your team that makes them so likable and gets people behind them that might not have been cheering for them to begin with?
I don't know if the neutral fans. Look, Boise is a Zag, friendly place. We have a bunch of former players down here. I have tons of family down here, and this thing meant everything to me to finally get my team to come down and play in Boise. My father-in-law was a basketball player himself, played at the College of Idaho, and was just kind of a legendary, humble man around here, and just absolutely loved the Zags more than anything. He passed away this summer, so we missed it by 6 months, but I could feel his presence looking down on us, smiling both when Snacks and Rui hit that big 3. So this was special to get here, to do it in front of family, to do it in front of our former players, and like I said, this is definitely a Zag-friendly spot for us.
Okay, Mark, what's up with the handstand thing? I've never seen that before, and is that also because of all your
yoga? It leaked
yoga?
out a couple years back. It's not quite as prevalent as it was after I hit 50. And there's some rotator cuff issues that I worry about. But when in the moment and the guys motivate me enough, I lose my mind and attempt them once in a while. So this happened to be one of those times.
Coach, it wasn't just Zach. Rui had a tremendous game. I think 25 points off the bench. How big is it to have a guy like that can come off the bench and score that many points for you?
Oh, it's a luxury to have. We have a luxury to have so many guys. I think we've had 7 guys score 20 points this year. Again, I thought Corey Kispert came in and gave us good minutes. It was actually great to get Rui going again. I think he was really disappointed with how he played Thursday. So obviously, I think we all knew he was going to play better, but for him to play this well was huge. We needed every point, we needed every rebound, and then lost in all this was Perk. Josh Perkins has put 2 really, really solid games, kind of managing the throttle of our offense and taking great care of the ball. 8 assists, 2 turnovers tonight, and he had a big shot, and. Everybody hit the floor for us, helped us win tonight. We needed every basket because they definitely pushed us to the limit.
We have time for 2 more. We'll start over here.
Mark, I want to ask you about Josh Perkins, as you mentioned. How has his game evolved and improved over the course of the year as your point guard? I know he had a little bit of struggles early on, some of the losses.
No, again with Josh is as high a level shooter, I think, at the point position in college basketball. Him and Joel Berry are very similar to that. He's always had a little bit of flash and stuff to his game that he values probably more highly than he needs to, and I think he's really been able in the last, since we dropped that home game to St. Mary's, he's came eons from where he was as far as understanding winning plays and just figuring out who to get the ball to at the right time, when that guy's going, or what the matchup is, or hunting his own shot, or getting us in the right sets at the right time and place. And that's been as big a key for this run we've been on is him understanding winning basketball as opposed to just and one stuff.
Mark, it seems like we're always talking about streaks, 4 straight Sweet 16s now. With the difficulty of getting to the second weekend, how much does that mean to you?
I mean, like I said, there's, certainly there's some personal things out there in your life and family and all that. But as far as professionally, I can't think of anything a better feeling than winning games in March. I was telling Leon Rice and I went out to dinner, the head coach here at Boise. Any win in the NCAA tournament, I think, is the hardest thing you do. They're harder than road games in league. They're really, really hard to come by. And to be able to advance now to that second weekend, we get a whole nother, we're guaranteed of at least 5 days, I think, more with our team. And with the hope of getting to that next weekend, or the next week that many of us have experienced how special that is. So along with that, somebody brought to my attention in the locker room that we got 2 guys in Perkins and Silas that have made it to 4 straight second weekends. And with all this, in this day and age, with people leaving early and doing this and doing that, I don't know how many players in college basketball can say, they've been a part of 4 straight second weekends. I know there's obviously some, but that's got to be some elite company. So I'm unbelievably proud of not just those guys, but the whole team and our whole program, administration and everything. For we've built this thing the right way. And we do have followers all over the country, and it's because my guys are what college basketball is all about.